Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, capybaras and amphibian friends too. My name is Linianor, and this is the Hitchhiker's Guide to Candlemass. Candlemass are the highly praised Swedish gods of epic doom metal, and rightfully so. Their sound continuously evolved throughout their discography, with members leaving and joining, but the core essence of the band remained forever. With heavy melodic doom riffage and lyrics of misery, Lovecraftian tales, the occult, Satanism, and other spooky themes. Their first album, named after the genre electronic dance music, features my personal favorite Candlemass vocalist, the mid-Yuri impersonator Johan Lenkvist. His deep and sonorous vocals perfectly match the sorrow, mystery, and adventure of the lyrical content of the album. However, after recording this album, Lenkvist went missing as he went on an over 30-year-long pilgrimage to Moominland in Finland. He returned to Candlemass in 2019 to record The Door to Doom, which was inspired by the January 2019 release of the Lego Movie 2. The first track of Epicus Doomicus Metallicus is Solitude, which follows the story of a Super Mario 64 player getting softlocked in gay baby jail for eternity, wishing to return to dust and to die in solitude. This he sadly inevitably does, but he faces a fate worse than gay baby jail. The protagonist finds himself at a door, but it's one south of heaven, at the demon's gate, if you will, and now he suffers in hell forever. He wishes he could return to the peaceful purgatory of the softlock. The following tracks in EDM continue the story of this poor man's miserable fate. However, if I were to recount the whole story, it would take me eons, so I urge you to listen to it for yourself. Candlemass's next three albums feature a more operatic sound with less gloom due to the vocals of doom-dancing extraordinaire Messiah Marcolin. This operatic singing works very well for Nightfall and Tales of Creation, but I find it gets cheesy and annoying in Ancient Dreams. But Jesus Christ Denton did the other two albums slap harder than a Southeast Asian mother's sandal. Doom-dancing Marcolin was replaced by Thomas Wikström for the 1994 album Chapter 6. I personally think this album's pretty good and I quite like the vocals, but this album saw such poor sales that it killed Candlemass for 3 years. This album features more operatic vocals than their debut, but less so than Ancient Dreams. The songs are less memorable than those of other albums, and they feature off-putting synth parts, as well as the final 4 songs being written in some cryptic ancient language, which I wish I could translate for you, but I can't. These tracks feature a very much more upbeat tone than anything else Candlemass would ever make. Perhaps it's some ritual summoning dance, made to summon an enormous octopus. I may meet the same fate as a Lovecraft protagonist if I attempted to tail these rituals further. Their next 2 albums, Testicle Conglomerate and The 13th Sun, are weirdly unpopular despite representing the dawn of the fattest riffs ever produced by Candlemass. The guitars and vocals are more representative of sludge metal, which is a slight departure from epic doom, but a welcome one nonetheless. From this point on, I don't consider any of their albums dodgy or questionable. There's only pure heavy riffs and epic vocals. Messiah Marcolin returns once more in their self-titled, bringing a beautiful harmony of passionate vocals and the earthquake-inducing riffs which they're starting to adopt. However, after recording this album, Marcolin decided to fly away, never to be seen again, and he was promptly replaced by Solitude Aeternum's Robert Lowe. Candlemass then went on to produce my 4 favourite albums of theirs, the first of which is Captain Hook of Skull Island, the tale of the crucified skullman from my avatar, donning a crown and becoming the emperor of some private islands off the coast of Scotland. He then experiments with Devil's Seed, Satan's love juice, only to be transported to the secret moon of Mars Demonia 6, where he's given a stern talking to by the Man of Shadows, king of the Opal City, who then advises the withered Grey King to embrace the Styx. However, in doing so he tragically died. The story of his death is recounted in Death Magic Doom and Psalms for the Dead, 2 more wonderful albums in the Solitude Aeternum arc. This brings us to the end of our hitchhiking journey, their most recent studio release after Johan Lenkvist's lengthy trip to visit Snufkin in real life. Epicus Doomicus Metallicus 2, more commonly known as The Door to Doom from 2019. This return to epic doom tradition features what are in my supreme humble opinion to be the most memorable riffs and lyrics of all the epic doom metal. The focus of the songs is more on cults which worship astronomically, hell, comically large entities, like the all-powerful doom god Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath. The first track, Splendor Demon Majesty, is about a demon god which is worshipped by some fellows in order to do some dastardly deeds like stealing the Declaration of Independence or bringing Armageddon to the world. Under the Ocean, the second track, is the only explicit song of Candlemass's entire discography, featuring a fat F-bomb. The intro is slow and clean with watery, warbly lead guitars before exploding into some beautiful epic doom tunage. The lyrics are quite confusing, but seem to be about underwater lemmings, a hidden level removed from the award-winning 1991 Amiga game, where the lemmings commit their usual mass suicide through drowning. This was removed from the game because it revealed the deep state secret of Asterolus the Great Octopus, something the Scottish government would have kept secret if it weren't for the omnipotent Tony Iommi and Candlemass spilling the beans in their song Asterolus the Great Octopus, where the nature of the demented monstrosity is taught to the listener. The drum intro is meaty, reminding me of the drum intro to Van Halen's Hot for Teacher, which is a cautionary tale about predatory high school teachers. Upon laying his eyes upon Asterolus during his trip to Moominland, Lenquist was blinded by its ginormous tentacled size. He managed to get away, but only thanks to the Bridge of the Blind, which allowed him safe passage to the not-so-safe amusement ride, the Death's Wheel. Upon tumbling into its fatal merry-go-round, Lenquist prays to the unholy black trinity of black metal bands, Bathory, Hellhammer, and Limp Bizkit. They bless him with the ability to get off that godforsaken wheel and escape, but only for him to encounter another cursed fairground attraction, the Horror House of Doom, the labyrinthine mansion which entraps him for eternity. During his final hours, he practices astral projection, and in doing so, he discovered a soul which was doomed to the same fate as him. The protagonist of the original Epicus Doomicus Metallicus, who was soft-locked in Mario 64, he managed to communicate with the poor soul, and they formed the Omega Circle, and the escapades are foretold in the final track released by Candlemass thus far, named the Omega Circle. And that is the end of the Hitchhiker's Guide to Candlemass. I hope you enjoyed, and remember, avoid gay baby jail at all costs.